Chain wallet? Why not? Spike jacket? Sure. Brass knuckles? Whatever.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. This week is pretty cool because it's been a minute since I've had a band from Germany on, and if you look at their website, it's really cool because I love the tagline. 3 dudes, heavy riffs, melodic tones. We have Pariahlord here in the Metal Forge. And dudes, what's going on? Introduce yourselves to the people here.
Well, I'm Carsten. I'm the guitarist and singer of Pariahlord.
And I'm Phil. I'm the drummer.
And who's not with us is our dear friend Jan, who's our bass player. He couldn't make it, unfortunately. But
fucking bass players.
Yeah, it's good that it's yeah. Okay.
No, for real. I understand, you know, especially in today's world where bands don't always get together and practice. They might practice a week before a tour but they've taken the time to learn the songs and stuff, and not everybody's in the same area anymore. So yeah, I totally get that. And hey, things happen and we all live our lives, but you know, not to put too much strain on a bass player.
No. He sends his best wishes.
Yeah. Anyways, we've been a band for around 7 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we started a little bit before the whole Corona thing hit.
Sure.
And yeah, we have 2 records out. Vultures.
Actually 3, but
yeah,
2 albums.
Two full-length albums and 1 EP that started it all.
Definitely.
And we've been basically always been busy with the band for the past, I would say, 4 to 5 years.
Yeah,
we've been playing live shows ever since we were able to. Because our first live shows, when we founded the band, they got canceled.
Well,
right away.
I like the tour names. You know, I really do like the tour names. Obviously, you've got the support for Embrace the Misery and Vultures and Mirrors, the 2 albums in the EP. But then you've got like the little side gigs, the little off the wall tours, like a fistful of gigs, and for a few gigs more. You know, I love that stuff because it harkens back to a time when you get into these tour books and you see these bands that it's like the name of their tour is so interesting because the Damaged Justice tour. It's because they're doing songs off of Master and they're doing songs off of Justice, and so it all makes sense. But when you get cool things like that, it adds to the mythos of a band, and it's like so it lets a little bit in. So you guys are into the Eastwood westerns, like the spaghetti westerns and stuff.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
absolutely. I mean, we've actually from the start we've had this kind of playful cowboy image attitude, and we all love spaghetti westerns very much. So that it has always been an inspiration musically, but also, you know, visually, the whole cowboy kind of thing in music videos and stuff like that. But actually, you know, because of that, I thought I can say that I thought of the tour names because I thought you need to have something that, you know, fits the whole idea and the whole corporate identity of the band, if you like. But for the first time for the gigs this year, I didn't come up with a proper name. So if you have any ideas, do let me know, because I think on the website it just says Single Gigs 2026 because I didn't come up with a beautiful name for it.
To be honest, all the shows that we're playing this year are actually really just a handful of gigs because we're in the process of writing. So we said, well, we'll do some shows here and there, but we're not concentrating on getting out there because we want to write new stuff, or we are writing new stuff.
So, okay, so there's a lot there to unpack. Before we break into a lot of that, I do want to ask, and I'm going to take a page out of one of our other interviewers' books here. It's like, what got you into the heavy music? Because obviously, being in Germany, there's a lot of awesome heavy German bands there that shaped a lot of the metal scene for a lot of European power metal, European thrash metal, even affecting over into American power metal and thrash metal and so on and so forth. So, what got you into the heavy music?
You mean like actually making heavy music or like from the get-go, like
From the
starting to
get-go,
listen?
like when you were like 8 or 9 or 13 years old, that you heard it and you were just like, holy hell, this is amazing.
Funny
I've
thing,
got to do this.
I think the two of us we're big fans of a band called Die Ärzte,
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. Mm.
which is a German punk band.
Okay.
Um, and the first time I heard them on my parents' patio, and the neighbor was blasting them, and they used a swear word in it. And my parents got super upset, and I'm like, fuck yeah, that's it. That's my type of music.
Yeah.
And they gifted me the record, the neighbor boys. They were like, here, you can have it. And it was called
Which one was
Planet
it?
Punk.
Yeah.
And I listened
Cool.
to that like religiously. And it got me, that was my first like touch with alternative music, was like fourth grade or something. And from there, teenage years, rebellion. From punk comes more harder stuff because I love punk music, but it gets freaking boring after a while. No offense,
Sure.
but I'm like, at some point, you heard every three-chord song there is, and I still love the attitude. Still go to punk shows here and there, but it gets to a point where I'm like, this is not enough for me. So, I grew up in a time where like System of a Down was a big thing, and then
Sure.
went over to like a metalcore thing, and then it ultimately came into like, okay, I heard it all and made my way to like doomier, stonier music, and discovered a lot of hidden bands, a lot of underground. And I'm like, whoa, this is interesting. This kind of gets me reintroduced into music.
For sure.
I got stuck with it.
One of the bands that I would love to see you all play with, and hopefully that either you all make it over to tour in Canada because they're a Canadian band, or hopefully they make it over there, would be Spell, if you're
Okay.
Okay.
familiar with. And because I just started listening to Mirrors earlier this morning when I was prepping for the interview again. And I try to revisit as much as I can before going into an album and learning about a band and such. It's kind of like that habit, and hearing like the vocals and hearing like some of the melodic parts of you kind of just like cross waves with each other, and that would be a killer bill.
Okay. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
we'd love to play over in Canada or in the US.
well, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a deal right now where it's kind of hard because
Mm.
you all know the crunch of things with petrol prices and things like that.
Yep.
It's expensive here too. It's expensive everywhere, and unfortunately with visas here, you don't know if you're actually going to be able to get in or not. Especially if if you've ever criticized the current United States
Yeah.
administration. They
Yeah.
don't like to grant people access, or they want to make the visa, like the touring fee, so much. Where it's like an independent band is trying to pay like $8,000 to $10,000 in some regards because they might have 5 or 6 members, but you know, it's still such a tragedy
We
because there's
just
so
have
much amazing art out there that we don't get to see because of that,
we just
because
have to
it's
wait
the
Parliament.
price of admission.
Yeah, I know. Well, although Canada might be nice to go over
Canada
there.
might be super
So
nice. Yeah.
if they're
Yeah, for
listening,
sure.
uh,
Hey, anybody in
we're always
Canada,
up for a good trip.
Yeah, we are.
Cam, Cam from Spell. I know you check the show out from time to time. I'll tag you. Make
Please
this
do.
happen. Make this happen. For sure.
That would be awesome.
But Phil, what about you? How did you get into the heavy?
Well, actually, pretty similarly because, funnily enough, we didn't know each other at the time, but I think he's like 6 weeks older than I am. So, um,
Nice.
yeah, it's kind of funny, isn't it? So I also the band that he named, the Ärzte, they were also my kind of introduction to heavier music, because it was basically the same thing. You knew some of the stuff, and then when I was, I don't know, a little bit older, maybe I don't know, maybe 12, I bought one of their CDs. I knew some unplugged stuff. They had done an unplugged gig, and I knew some of the stuff, and I loved it. And then I bought one of the proper albums, put it in, and they've 13 the album, and it was there's some pretty heavy stuff on there, like sound wise, like Ignorama is like, whoa, what is this? This is awesome. Turn the volume up, and that was also my kind of introduction to heavier music and then the whole punk thing. And I had a good friend who I kind of traded music with in school. Like, did you listen to this band? Did have you heard this one? And we kind of, we gave each other, we came from punk and then we went to metal, and he put up, he created a sampler for me, putting various metal bands in there, like, you know, from Maiden to Marilyn Manson to whoever, I think I've still got the CD. And that was kind of we were just trading music and listen to this, man, listen to this. And then I got to know him. And I remember because he already had a car when when he had his driver's license. I didn't. And we used to drive around. He used to drive me around, and he
Yeah.
still does to this day. We were driving around and just listening to music, and especially listening to Tool because he was a huge Tool fan. And I was like,
Still
this,
am.
this is awesome because I'm a drummer and I love progressive music. I love tricky rhythms, and then listening to something like Tool, it opened up a whole new world
Sure.
for me. So that was kind of part of the whole journey of listening to heavy and metal music. I also listen to a lot of progressive stuff, and I still listen to punk sometimes, but that was kind of the heavy stuff that I listened to.
Well, just as Karsten had said, punk kind of gets to that point where it plateaus. And once you've heard so much of it, is there any kind of new thing? And then
Mm,
when punk bands reinvent themselves, they catch so much flack from so much of their fan base. Like, you changed, you sold out.
yeah.
And it's just like, well, I mean, how many, it's like Motorhead. And I love Motorhead, but how many times can you write Ace of Spades? I know in their career, they have at least four of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
But it's
still, and go ahead.
sorry. No, I was just saying it's the same thing with at least from many fans' point of view. It doesn't really depend on it's independent of the genre because if a band has found their style, after two or three albums, they are not allowed to change. If it's a prog band, if
Sure.
it's a metal band, it's like no, they have to stay the way that I discovered them. Otherwise, I'm
Exactly.
Especially for
And
punk bands, the irony that the punk attitude of not giving a flying fuck. And then
is out the door.
I know, and it's very ironic that
Mhm.
especially that scene is very, trying to
Yeah,
keep it all in their box.
yeah.
Sure. Sure, sure. And so when you said that Phil, that Karsten still to this day drives you around as you're
I've got a
doing.
driver's license, but
Oh no, no,
he's
no.
still
I
one of
totally
the
get that. I have a friend who is the same way. We kind of met each other. We met each other at a bowling alley, and I had a car and he didn't, and it just like so we just like, hey man, where do you want to go? Let's go here.
yeah,
Let's go there.
yeah,
Let's check out this record store. Let's go out here and check out this record store. Let's go to practice because he was a drummer as well, and I was a bass player, and it's very interesting how you're like, yeah, I got into Tool because of being a fan of progressive music and being a drummer. And ultimately, I think out of like if you really per capita, if you were to lay a gauge on it, there's probably more drummers into and percussionists into progressive music than any other musician. And I say that because it's all based around rudiments and techniques and different things other than the 4/4 beat, so and that's one of the things that's the thankful aspect of having amazing drummers out there, is because they are the in power metal, in whatever metal and stuff like that, a life force for being creative and taking something to another level. Because just as much as we're all different as musicians and people, drummers, I've never played with a drummer that's ever been the same as a previous.
Yeah.
That's true.
Guitar players can come close, but
Yeah.
no, drummers, completely other animals.
Yeah, absolutely right. I absolutely agree. Yeah, yeah. And it's such a huge, there's so much inspiration out there, especially for drummers, as you say. And with the whole progressive genre, there's so many brilliant drummers. So I can completely relate to what you say. I mean, my favorite drummer has always been Phil Collins, from the Genesis
Okay.
days, and I grew up listening to him and still love him to this day. And he's been a huge influence on my playing, especially, the odd time signatures that he used to put it. Because what he always did was, he always played it very, he suited it to the song. So sometimes you didn't really notice what was going on the drums, but then you kind of listen to it and you think, this is in 13/8 or something like that. You don't
Sure.
really notice it because it's like, yeah, you've got this tight song structure. And, he was very good at just doing these things to fit the mood of the song. And I really love that. And yeah, that's something that I really admire.
And for what it's worth, I've noticed too that there are and Phil Collins may be this way, that for every drummer that is like that, they are not classically trained. They play strictly by feel, and they're just laying these strange things out on tape that are just like, what are you doing? How do you and as a stringed instrument player, and Karsten, you may be able to there's some guitar players out there that I'm sure you look at and are the same way, that you're just like, how do they do that?
Hmm.
I'm that way with some of even as simple as like Beatles stuff.
Mm.
I wonder how John and George play what they play sometimes, because it's just really weird.
It is, and everyone has a weird technique in
Hmm.
some capacity. Uh,
Uh, Dave Mustaine using the spider chord technique, where he's
yeah.
playing two stacked power chords with all four fingers, and beyond me. I can't get that. I can't. I've tried that grasp, and it's not a thing. Um, so you all were mentioning too that you were in the writing phase, and I want to go back to this because the latest album that had came out was in 2024, which was Mirrors, and some really cool tracks on the album. So with you all writing, it's been a couple of years now. What are we looking for? Are we looking for a 27? Because we're already into going into August of 26 now when
Hmm.
this is coming out. What are we looking for? Are we looking for a release in the end of the year, middle of next, end of next? What I mean, how does your all's creative process flow?
So we're trying to get something out in 27, definitely. Um, if it'll be before, it'll be a nice little surprise, but we want to be realistic. And we do want to do things a little different now.
Okay.
Because in the past, we had, let's say, 80 to 90% of the album done. And we already made appointments and everything with the studio and planned everything. And here and there, to be quite honest, we had a couple of things where we're like, crap, we have a deadline, which is sometimes good because it makes
It gets hard.
it forces your hand. Uh, but here and there, I'm like, maybe we rushed a little bit. So this time we want to do a different approach. We have a lot of material that we're working on, and we're gonna nail it down to what we're actually gonna think is appropriate to do into an album. And
Okay.
then when the last tone is done, then we're gonna be like, okay, now it's time to record this baby.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that makes sense because I've noticed I've done stuff like that in the past as well, where you get like 80, 90% done and you just go and then you don't necessarily get a lot of the things that you really want. The flair in the end. Could we have spent a little bit more time on this?
I
Did
mean,
we? But then again, there's some of the things too. It's like, did we spend too much and not enough?
I mean, with the last two albums, we had this kind of very crappy little rehearsal space where the three of us were jamming and writing the stuff.
we practice in a shoebox.
Yeah, we did, but we
Is it at
moved to
least a
another.
size 12 shoebox?
No,
Those are
it was
pretty
a
big.
it was a size 9.
Uh,
Oh,
so we were writing this stuff, instrumental stuff first, and then Carsten said, I'm going to come up with the vocals and the melodies and the lyrics, obviously. But sometimes, with the last two albums, because he then he sang along in the rehearsal room, but we really didn't hear what he was.
sure.
We were concentrating on what we were playing, and the sound was shit. And then when we were at the studio, we were like, when he was recording the vocals, Jan and I, we were in the other room, and we were like, oh, that's what he was singing. Oh, that's what because
Oh,
and this is something
yes.
that we want to avoid now because we were like, let's just finish the whole thing so that everybody knows what the other person's kind of doing, and the songs are like, we know exactly what each other is going to do. So that's the approach now.
Yeah, but we still have a little bit of a deadline in our heads that we're like, okay, 2027 is definitely the year of the next release.
Yeah.
So, and we know the process now. We've been through it twice, and we know how long it takes.
I think I just got the title for for that tour.
Please say.
2027, Year of the Pariah.
Ooh,
Ooh, nice.
that's cool.
There you
That
go,
actually
right
is,
there.
that is actually very
That's
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Good one.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
No,
we are
because I totally get that though. Taking your time and doing things, but setting a loose deadline is a deal. And with my current power metal band, I had to do the same thing. We were just it was just taking so long, and we were saying like, okay, we had a deadline that we missed because people got sick, things happened, people's cars broke down, and we all live 2 hours apart from each other. So getting into practice is kind of hard sometimes. And it was just like, okay, well, let's just release this in 2 parts. Let's release part 1 that we have now, and then let's release part 2 in 4 months or 3 months, and bang, there it is. And that'll force us to get the rest of it done. And it actually worked. And yeah, so I totally get everything. You never know what's the best way to do it, especially when assessing deadlines. But a loose idea, it's like 27, I want to do something with this because it's been too long.
It is. I mean, the thing that we would love to gone for is a release every 2 years. Because I'm like, especially nowadays, times have changed.
Sure.
I'm still very old school in the way that we're thinking. Some people might argue that the format of an album isn't at the pulse of time anymore, which
Right.
frankly I don't care if that's not the thing. I still love the concept of an album, of standing the test of time, and discovering new albums. I
Sure.
still, to this day, that's one of my favorite things is discovering new music in album form. Not just a song or a couple of songs, but one piece of art that for me does it. And if this piece of art makes me fall in love with a band and their discography, awesome. If not, I still have one heck of an album to get back to when I'm in the mood for.
Sure.
So
Oh,
that's
absolutely. And where places like Spotify are terrible for the artist, the independent artist, I should say. Because let's face it, bands like Metallica and Judas Priest and Taylor Swift, and they're all making millions and millions of dollars off of it.
yep.
But what I will say is I am typically when I am on like the road trip deal where it's like driving to practice, I might listen to a couple of songs and see what sparks. And then it's like, wow, that was a really good song. Who was that? And then
Mm.
immediately go back and listen to the album on the way. And then or the EP that it may have been on because I think that's such a great thing to be able to have as a musician is the canvas to not only release single songs that mean something to you and but you can make that a concept album and a loose concept or a tight knit concept or whatever, but you can always have flashbacks to your other music. And even I love it because it's music to me, and this is the I think this is where I'm going with it is it's ever exponential to an idea. And what I mean by that is if you have an idea, you can expand on it. If you say you hear a song and from a band that nobody's ever heard of before, and you've heard it and your friends have heard it because they're a local or regional band to you in Germany. And because just like here, there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of bands, I'm sure there are there too.
Same.
Mm.
And you can react to that and write off of that and and tag those people back. Like I had a English lit teacher in college who I was just when York said this, I'll say I've said in a song, and nobody knows who Robert York was, but I know who he was. But and that's but what he said was so profound, I have to tell somebody else about it.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff about music. And that's what I think the ultimate gift of it is as being a musician.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And I mean, you are right. I mean, especially in the US and places like Canada, for example, you've got thousands of bands, but also here in Germany, I mean, compared to these countries with smaller, but you've got a lot of, very good independent tiny bands. I mean, we've been on the road for a couple of years now, and we've met
Mm.
so many awesome bands that otherwise you wouldn't have heard of, or you wouldn't have maybe you would have
Sure.
heard their names, but then you've got like, those guys are pretty cool. I'm going to buy a t-shirt. I'm going to buy a CD or a vinyl. And then you're like, you listen to them on Spotify, but it's like, there's so much music to discover, especially, and I mean, also around here.
Well, one of my favorite, honestly, and I'm going to give them a shout out. One of my favorite new wave of traditional heavy metal bands from Germany is Nightfire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, up in outside of Munich, I believe.
Mm.
And they're amazing people. Dave Cruz, such a rad band. I want more from them so much, but it's again, it's like we'd like to have an album out every couple of years, but
Yeah.
things happen. People
Yeah.
get sick. People, like I said, and that's what this show is ultimately about. Is about us as people. So I like to ask some general questions to round out the episodes. If you could follow one person around for an entire day just a shadow, who would it be and why?
Ooh,
That's a hard one.
that's a hard one. It depends on the day. Um, Let me think about it. That is a really tough one. Because it depends on, what I've got on my mind and, what I'm kind of working on.
Sure.
So maybe one day it would be someone like Gene Simmons. Could be some, you can,
I think you can pay him like $13,000 and actually do that.
I know, I know. I don't want to do that now. And you can, think of him or the band, whatever, doesn't really matter. But if you think like I need some inspiration for, marketing or whatever, how did they get so big? I'll just follow him around for one day. But then again, there's so many people there's musicians, there's writers. I can't really
Sure.
I can't really
I'd like to
focus
follow
on.
around George Lucas for a day. And
Good
and
one.
specifically, I would like to have followed him around for a day on a set.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if I wanted to follow him around on like Star Wars or like one of the prequels or
Mm,
what. But
yeah.
like just ultimately I'd like to follow him around just to see what kind of mind like what he does each
Mm.
I think like my first gut reaction was like, I think Adam Jones from Tool. I would just follow him around to see what kind of routines does he have, what kind of warm up does he do, how does he get into his playing mood, and also I would just sit down and talk wrestling with the guy.
Did you say wrestling?
Yeah, I know
Uh
Adam Jones is a big fan, so I would
oh,
just
is he? Are
yeah, yeah,
you?
hey, yeah, I
He,
am too.
he's yeah.
So
Oh
that
shit.
that that would be
Oh shit.
that would be funny.
What okay.
We're still we're,
So
we're still we're still waiting for the Pariahlord wrestling theme song, but
Yeah,
for
yeah,
someone.
we should write some.
you
That, by the
should.
way, that's one thing I will say, if people like wrestling or not. Wrestling and music, ultimately, it can't, like, wrestling does not function without music.
Sure.
Simple as that.
Not in our day, not in our time frame, no. But
Yeah.
like if you're talking like the 70s and stuff like that, like before, no, that's completely different. I can
That
understand, somebody walking to the ring looking like a badass, just
that's
like a
true.
fighter.
Yeah,
But then when the spectacle came in and like Slaughter played the Marine Corps hymn or JYD used to come out to another one bites the dust,
I know.
and stuff like that. And these are like some of the first people doing it.
I know.
And
Nowadays, it doesn't go without. You
and
have to have a
nowadays it's all
banger
spectacle.
song. Yeah.
And honestly, I think, there for a long time, especially in like the WWE. Now you're going to get me on this thing here. Addressing music and stuff. When they hired somebody like Jim Johnston to take over from like Jimmy Hart in writing theme musics for people, I think that opened a creative deal up around 2001 where when Triple H came back, they had written the song, but Jim Johnston just wasn't getting it done. And he said, well, what do you want it to sound like? And he's like, well, I want it to sound like Motorhead. And he's like, well, why don't we just have them record it? He's like, I didn't know that was an option. He's like, dude, we
No.
have billions of dollars. Of course it's an option. No. But it was an option. And I think at that point, it really opened the gate for a lot of music that were more band related intros for people.
Mm.
And then
Gotta
you had
say,
more people.
to kind of come back to your initial question of like, how did we like get into heavy stuff? Also a thing. That was also a thing. Growing up, I was a teenager. I got confronted with metal music through theme songs, through their video games, which
Yeah,
usually the score was 90% somewhat related to metal.
sure.
That got me into it too, quite honestly.
Oh, absolutely. Because yeah, obviously everybody's heard like Rick Derringer's Real American and the Hulk Hogan theme
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Take him however you will. I know a lot of people out there, yes. I don't care for that's another subject for another time. I'm not going to get into that. But when it came back and then it got into the heavy stuff again, like take like the Ultimate Warrior theme where it's headbanging. It's all it is.
Yeah.
and
it
then
is.
Bret Hart and all of that stuff. And then when you bring in the music aspect to it, you know, yeah, I mean those were supposed to be catchy things so people remembered who they were seeing. And music's no different for that. So yeah, I would yeah. I'm a huge wrestling nerd myself.
Awesome.
I really wish in current times Mick Foley would really not come back,
Right.
but I don't know. He's been gone so long. I don't know if the DDP yoga has done him well enough like it has somebody like Jake to where he could
Uh,
possibly
I
come
think
back
he's
and wrestle.
no, I don't think I think not more than 30 seconds. I don't think he can go longer than that.
Yeah, and that Austin took so long off, and even when he came back and did his thing, what he did, it was still the pop. It was still the
I
threat, the
know.
Thez press, the mud hole, the stunner, the pin. It was like a minute and a half and done. But he was gone like 19 years or something. And
That's like a band retiring, coming back, playing their greatest hit.
but after 19 years, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
like Guns N' Roses doing it. Not Kiss.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Okay.
Kiss.
Okay.
Kiss.
Touche.
Kiss is Ric Flair in metal.
In every aspect.
In every single aspect. You're absolutely right.
Definitely in the drinking department.
Oh gosh, yeah, and the woo department too.
That too,
Uh,
yeah. And
what moment from your childhood are you most proud of?
Ooh.
damn, got some deep ones there.
Yeah. So maybe so I do know, as many children did, when I was very young, like 6 months old or something like that, I used to bang around on a cooktop,
On a cooking pot.
cooking pot, with
Oh
Pot.
yeah,
with
yeah,
food.
yeah.
Uh,
Wait,
and
what's the word that you were trying to say it in German?
Kochtopf,
Kochtopf.
Kochtopf,
Okay,
Kochtopf.
cool.
Um, anyway, I was bashing around on that, and then I know many children do, but
Yeah.
I know that from story. Obviously, I don't remember, but I know that from stories and from photographs. And then I remember, no, not remember, but I do kind of know that I did this. I got some presents for my birthday or for Christmas. I think maybe a couple of months later. And what I did was like two buckets with Lego, and I don't really remember what the other stuff was. And I kind of put all
You
of
made
the
a
stuff
drum set.
around, and I put the two buckets there, and some other stuff, and I kind of built myself a tiny drum kit, and
Mm.
I bashed around on that, and that was something that I'm very proud of, being a drummer. It was something that it was there from the beginning, if you like. And this is something that I'm very proud of, because I do remember,
Hell
uh,
yeah.
kind of remember this
So,
incident.
you know, that's wild because a lot of people don't get that. Like, what's the Matthew Sweet, the album cover that he has where he's on the cover as a kid and he has like the cardboard guitar with the
Mm-hmm.
yarn strings, right? Or maybe it's Matthew Sweet that I'm thinking of. He might be on the where he's listening to the tape deck. But there's somebody with a cardboard guitar with like yarn strings and somebody huge. But yeah, and to go to and interview somebody for me that was their first live drum kit. That's it, like buckets and stuff like that, and a pot and like pie tins,
Mm-hmm.
and because they've been from such an underdeveloped country that it's just that they've played on those for live purposes.
Yeah.
And that's so crazy to think about. And But the engineering that goes into it, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Karsten, what about you?
Um, if I think of off the top of my head, there's one thing in elementary school. We had a class where we had what was called integrative class. So we had a kid in a wheelchair and
Hmm.
two kids with Down syndrome. And the kid with the wheelchair was one of my closest friends. His name was David. And I was very proud of the moment when we had this little ramp from the schoolyard up to the street, when his parents actually allowed me in fourth grade to push him up by myself because they trusted me so
Oh,
much. That was awesome. That I was super duper proud of that.
shout outs to him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do you still
definitely.
do you know what happened to him?
Unfortunately, well, I know that he's still going, and he made it to the point where he's actually working.
Great,
So,
Nice.
great.
Hell yeah.
um, a good
Shout
friend of
outs to
ours was
him.
mine.
Maybe he'll see this one day. Who knows?
That
Yeah,
would be awesome.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
if you became the leader of the country,
Which one?
uh,
Which country?
let's just okay.
Now
Let's
continue.
just
Please
say for
continue, Mark.
yours. Let's just say for yours. If what do you have? Prime Minister? Or do you have a president?
Bundeskanzler.
Yeah,
Wait, Chancellor, Chancellor.
Chancellor. There we
Chancellor.
go.
If you
There
were
we
to
go.
become chancellor, what's the first law or bill that you would pass?
Oh,
Oof, that's a good one.
that's a really good one. Boah.
I would definitely tax the super rich. That's the first thing I would do. Because over here, just like in every other country, if you want to get more taxes from the people that have the most, God damn it, will they rebel with everything they got, with every lobby they have, with every stupid piece of money they own. And I'm like, well,
I'm
it's
going to break
um,
context here for just a
it
second.
that would be my first thing.
Okay, I'm going to break context here for just 1 second. I just completely tripped the hell out because you froze on my screen when you were
Oh,
saying
okay.
that.
Oh,
When you
okay.
said, as soon as you said rebel, you froze on my screen and it's stuck in this video. I'm
That
recording it.
is
And I was
that
just
is
like,
freaky.
whoa.
I said tax the rich. Boom. Everything's dead now. This
Yeah,
episode
and
is
I
never going to air
seriously
because I
thought
said
we
tax
got
the rich.
disconnected
They're
there
already
for a
not.
second. Holy shit.
Great, great. We should.
There it did it
Oh no.
again.
Oh no.
You
Now
It
you're
just did
freezing.
it again.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding.
No,
I'm not even kidding.
we should use this bit as the promotion reel for
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly
Yeah.
what it's going to
text the
be.
rich.
Phil, what about
We
you?
should do a song called "Text the Rich."
Maybe we'll put that as an intro for one of the songs.
That's
Hell
a cool
yeah.
idea. Yeah.
What about you?
What about me?
Yeah,
Oh,
what would you pass first thing in office?
well, it might it may sound a little, but I'm very much into, uh preserving the planet as it is. I do something kind of, green kind of thing to, to help keeping the planet as it is and, not waste it much further. So I can't really put my finger on something particular, but I'd say, we should do something about, climate change and,
Yeah, about
stuff
the
like that.
climate
We
change,
we
about
could
the
we could put that together. We tax the rich, and with the money that we tax from the
Yeah,
rich,
yeah, yeah.
we put it back to where it belongs.
Yeah.
right.
So I'd
No,
do
you're
something like that.
absolutely right. And I think that's what I think that's ultimately where everybody goes wrong is there's not enough wealth equality anywhere. No matter what
Hmm.
country you're in, there's not enough wealth equality anywhere. There's always
Hmm.
somebody who is trying to push and oppress somebody else
Yeah.
based on value.
Yeah.
And guess what,
Unfortunately,
everybody? It's all made up.
yeah.
It's all a fictional number that we attach to something.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Gold really has no meaning outside of
You,
Earth.
You can't fucking eat gold. That's a fact.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but that's one thing I love about music and about going to shows is for 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 30 minutes, doesn't matter. Uh,
Yes.
all of this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's only the few people on stage that make the music, and there's the other people listening to it and hopefully feeling it without anything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the radio waves, that's what matters because, we can obviously go back and hear this every time and watch this every time in the music, seeing things, going back, revisiting things. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Mhm.
If I get hit by a bus now when I'm leaving, then what stays is music, not
Yeah,
my bank account.
no,
Yeah, that is
definitely
right.
not.
That is right.
Have you ever snuck in anywhere without paying?
Oh, probably.
Snuck in without paying.
Yeah, I think so. I can't
Movie
really.
theater, theme park,
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
let's see, concert. You ever snuck into a concert without paying?
probably yes. I can't remember, one particular incident, but
Like, you
I'm
ever go to
pretty
like
sure,
see Roger
I'm
Waters and not pay or something?
I can tell you one thing. When I was in the US and instead of having a stamp for admission, some moron just got out a black magic marker and did an X,
Yep,
and we did the X and got in. So I think that counts as sneaking in.
it does.
yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't pay, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
So where have
basically.
you visited in the States?
I did a year in Wisconsin. So
When he was at school, he
yeah.
did a
I
year in
like
Wisconsin.
how you refer to it like prison time.
Yeah.
No, no, I love Wisconsin.
I did a year in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Well,
I did a year in county in Wisconsin, and you gotta say
You even got the
Wisconsin.
accent right. You got the Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's great. Shout outs to Thunder Goat. They're up in Toma, Wisconsin. They're going to be on my tour coming up. So,
oh,
Ooh,
cool, cool.
nice.
All right.
yeah.
Where's the tour going to be? Where you?
We're going to be in Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Louisville, Kentucky.
So you're doing a Midwest tour.
Yep.
That was
Static Midwest.
Yeah.
That is one of our plans as well.
Yeah.
Because
Hell yeah.
Gustin's got some close connections
Do you still have your visa active? Come on over. No.
Well, I at least have my what is it called? The ESTA? No. Yeah.
ETA.
No,
Isn't it ETA?
no, I think
ESTA?
ETA is for Great Britain. I
Yeah,
think it's
okay.
the ESTA, the 90-day one, where I
Oh, okay.
can come over anytime until I think it runs until my passport runs out, which is sometime next year. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. What about you, Phil? Did you ever sneak in anywhere without paying?
Yeah, yeah, I probably did. I mean, I did a lot of sneaking into, it's not quite that special, but into our, schwimmbad, swimming,
uh, it's like a damn it,
Freibad.
it's an outdoor pool.
And out, the
Oh,
local
the local
outdoor
pool.
pool, So we
Yeah,
used to climb over the fences like for ages. No one ever cared.
sure.
But apart from that, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I don't really remember one specific incident, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
anything
I
big,
did.
I think I've always paid to get into. Small, I think I've been in the venue when like smaller shows were, and it like slipped my mind, but I ended up buying an assload of merch or something.
Yeah.
So it's like they still got the money.
I remember one thing because I used to, for a couple of years, I used to write for music magazines, which was pretty cool. Uh, but obviously there was something, it didn't really pay that much because it was,
Sure.
a niche. But the good thing was, you could always say, oh, this band is coming to town. I'd like to write a concert review, and the magazine would send you there, and you could always take someone with you, and that was quite cool because this way I got to go to a lot of concerts. And the first time I did this, I brought a friend of mine. I said, we went to see Creator. Do you know Creator? They
Sure.
yeah, German metal band from basically just around the corner.
I recently saw them a few years ago with Merciful Fate.
Yeah,
And it was Merciful Fate's first tour in the States in like 20 years.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, we went to see Creator, and I think there was a couple of other bands because it was a kind of anniversary thing. I think Sepultura was there. The reason I don't really remember is because we went there and all the money we didn't spend on tickets was spent on alcohol on that evening. So we just the two of us were just drinking ourselves to into oblivion. And I don't really know how I managed to write
A
a
cohesive
review in the
review.
aftermath, but somehow managed to. But that was something that I remember. Like it's the first concert that I can go to for free, and all the money that we would have spent on tickets went onto the bar.
Hell yeah. I
Yeah,
totally get that. And I've done that
yeah,
myself. I
great time,
definitely know
great
how
time.
that is. That's
Yeah,
that's that's great stuff.
yeah.
Karsten, Phil, thank you all so much for doing this. This has been awesome. I do have one more question, but before we get to it, as always, shout outs. Stop. Wait a second. I've done messed this up. As I always say, like always, links, they're listed below. Give likes, shares, follows, go do all the things, all the stuff. Go see them on their handful of shows in 26, their fistful of shows whenever they are. I know you all are playing a festival show in November. Why don't you tell everybody about that really quick?
What do we know about this show? I just know it's in Meppen. I think it's the Beard, whatever. What's it called? You have to edit this this out because it's
No,
so far
no, we
away. Because we've
no,
we've
we're
got
good.
like two
We
or three gigs before that, and I just know it's like I've got this date on my
Beard
calendar.
Rock Festival Volume 3.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
That's
That one,
that's
yeah.
that's the one we play. We are playing in Meppen, which is it's not a big place in Germany, but we're playing there. And
Hell yeah.
I think Jan, our bass player, he kind of got us this gig.
Now you all do live
Um,
streams too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing in September. We're playing a live stream. There's a pretty cool place, like an hour from here. They have a huge locations where they do concerts and live streams, and we played a concert there a couple of years ago. And they do live streams, they organize the whole thing and they put it on YouTube, we just play. We
Yeah.
just play us.
The guy, shout out to the band Papa
Right, yeah.
for booking us. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he is.
Hell yeah.
And so this is going to be fun. We can bring a couple of people and they're just going to live stream the whole thing via YouTube. It's on 26th of September, I think,
Yeah.
8 o'clock. And we'll share all the necessary stuff.
And links before.
Yeah.
So everyone tune in September 26th.
Yes, please do. Please
For
do.
sure. That's a crazy concept. It makes me think of that time that when you're doing a live stream and ultimately it is live. Obviously there is the delay that happens, but it's really minimalistic on things like YouTube and stuff like that. So, like the silent raves that happen,
Yeah.
silent metal shows
Ooh, yeah.
doing the same thing that they do. And just like everybody is on their account with their earbuds in, and you're playing wire, like
Yeah.
in ears as well.
That would be a
So
pretty
it
cool
would be
idea.
such a weird thing. And, if you had like an electric kit,
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
such a cool
That would be
concept to
fun.
have, I think. A silent metal show. You just see all these people
But
moshing and beating the shit
I
out
was
of each
I was
other
just thinking, do people still like, do mosh pits and stuff, when they're just
when they're just in their ears. That's
yeah.
the thing. But you're still watching the band, but you're not feeling the band. You're just hearing it.
That's
So
that would be a
imagine
funny
like
one.
watching a video of just the room audio where there's like nothing going on except for you just hear people
I've
hitting and
got
slapping
I've
each
got an
other
idea
and
for a
shit.
music
It'd be
video.
such a weird. You could score an Indiana Jones movie with that.
That's
It'd be a
Pretty good one.
soundtrack.
That's right.
It's a
Yeah.
good one. But I'm really looking forward to the experience of a live stream. We haven't done this
No,
before,
because
and
yeah.
there will be a few of our closest friends that are coming with
Sure.
support and helping us, and it's gonna be awesome. But it's gonna be kind of strange
Yeah.
being
Well, the
in a
cool
room
thing
without an
is,
audience.
yeah, it's going to be an online audience, but the cool thing about it too is think of like all of the angles you're already going to have, and then if you record all of those, you can remix and reuse whatever you can. And
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
such a great thing in
Yeah.
today's world
That is.
That
where where our art has become such a content creation machine,
Mhm.
and I hate
Mhm.
saying that
Yeah.
because it's art ultimately.
Yeah.
And that's my big shout out to you all for sure, is being artists and just kicking ass at what you do. So who would you all like to give shout outs to? What else would you like to promote today?
What else would we
Well,
like?
first of all, I would love to give a shout out to our basically our social media expert, which is our dearest Sasha, who's my wife, and
Who's from Wisconsin? So that
I'm
the connection.
I'm very
Ah,
grateful that she is busting her ass a lot and creating great graphics and doing the heavy lifting of the stuff that takes a little bit away from our burden so we can concentrate on the art.
Hmm.
Um,
sure.
we'd like to shout out our whole crew.
Pariah crew. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone from, I mean, we can,
Let's name them. So there's Marcel, there's
Yeah.
Benny, there's Beran, there's Leonard, if you like, there's
there's Ben,
Ben. So we've got a very close circle of
there's Britta,
there's Britta, yeah,
if we forget naming
Kate.
anyone, we're very sorry for not naming everyone in the circle,
We've
but
got a good close
you
circle
know who
of
you are and everyone who's helping us with merch setup and lifting our shit in the cars.
yeah,
Um,
driving us around sometimes.
yeah, driving our sorry drunk asses around sometimes. Um,
That's
it,
really the fun part of it, isn't it?
It depends. Sometimes it's not.
I'm like, there were times where videos have been shared the day after a gig, and I'm like, holy shit, that was us in the car ride back.
Okay, that was awesome. Somehow that was awesome.
Some of it was awesome. A few things I'm like, oof,
You're
that's a
really
borderline
cringe.
cringe moment, but
Yeah.
still fun and
Yeah, I
funny to
mean,
this day.
being on the road is I mean, you know that
Well,
it's great. It's
you
exhausting, but
know,
it's fun, you know?
Lemmy said, the road crew. You got to thank the road crew and
Yeah.
That
everything
is
because
right.
they're the ones that make it go round for everybody. The
Absolutely,
That
yeah.
is
unsung heroes of the metal and music world is the ones that you don't that are not on stage sometimes.
Yeah.
a lot. That's actually it's my favorite thing to do in our last song is to give a shout out to everyone who's busting their ass to make the show happen. Because
Mm.
I'm like, we show up with our equipment and our gear and we try to tear the house down, but there's no tearing the house down without the sound guy, without the light guy, without the person bringing in the freaking beer.
Mm.
And there are so many people working day in and day out in every country, in every city to make things happen for the sake of art. And I'm always so grateful. And a lot of them never get the appreciation they deserve.
Yeah.
Very true. Very, very true. Hell yeah. So my final question today on our way out is if you could give some advice or a tip or a trick that's worked for you to just somebody watching this show in music or life, what's some advice or a tip or a trick that's worked for you?
Mm. I think I can say for us as a band, something that helped us a lot because Pariahlord was like let's just say it was like the second, third, fourth kind of band that we were in together and that Jan was part of. So we kind of knew each other and we had done some projects before. When we started Pariahlord, we had a sort of experience which you naturally get from, doing all the stuff that that lead to having experiences. But when we started, we kind of had the whole concept was there. You had the name, you had the logo, you had the first songs. The EP was kind of finished. You had social media stuff. We kind of said, here we are, and we've got it all. Let's just start. And
Here we are, book us now. Unfortunately, booking wasn't a thing, but
because of
the point
COVID,
was
yeah.
be prepared.
So that was a pretty good start if it hadn't been for COVID, because otherwise, you start as a band and you'd be like, we need this, we need a good name, we need, well, you can kind of start doing this from scratch, and that was something that was really good for
It
us.
did help,
Mhm.
and it gets people turning their heads, being like, "Oh, damn, they haven't played a single show, but they have it all set up.
Yeah.
Damn." That's why we were in a good shape of being booked until it all fell apart.
Mm,
So that was a definite
that was good. Yeah.
good thing. What I will say is, for me, being in a band is like being in a relationship. And you have the beginning part where everything is awesome and there is no one better than you. Same goes in a relationship. Find a new partner and you're like, oh my God, that person is the best person ever. This is the best time I'm having. And at some point, you will it gets bumpy here and there. That's just natural. You gotta stick it out and you gotta communicate and you gotta be honest with each other. We had times, and we're not gonna sit here and pretend that we've been together for 7 years that we haven't fought as a band.
Mm,
But what we always did is sit down and talk it the fuck out
mm,
and be
Yeah,
like, I have a
you have to.
problem. Let's talk about it.
mm.
And if you don't have that, then you'll break up eventually. It doesn't matter how good you are as musicians, you're gonna fuck things up.
Yeah.
So sit down, be honest with each other, even if it hurts, even if you're gonna be pissy, and go home and be like, fuck those guys. And a day later, you're gonna be like, maybe that was good.
Yeah, I
And
100% agree with
my
that.
biggest advice that I'm trying to live by more so nowadays is give less fucks,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially what other people think.
Yeah.
So if people are gonna be like, yeah, but you're not metal enough, or you're not this, you're not that, well, then whatever.
Yeah.
That's who gives a
Oh
shit,
well.
you
Oh
know?
well. I mean, heavy. I've always defined heavy as subject matter and not necessarily distortion.
That's a very, very good point.
Yeah.
Hank
Yeah.
Williams is heavy.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
And it's not about tuning. That the funny thing is the heaviest fucking riffs were in E standard sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be drop A.
No, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Karsten, Phil, thank you so much. This has been awesome.
Thank
Thank you,
you for
Mark.
having us.
Such an awesome time. I appreciate you both. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for coming to the Metal Forge. And obviously, I'm going to be on the radar now and be watching for new stuff coming out. We have got to do this again for sure. This has been a
Definitely. We'd love
blast.
to.
So on our way out today, I asked you to send me what you all thought was the heaviest song that you had. And I love this one because it's just it is heavy, but it's a different type of heavy. Like I said, it's not always about distortion. But the video is rad as hell. This is Infernal. Yeah. Thank you all so very much. Metal every day, everybody. I appreciate you all. See you next week.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month to sandwiches and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken, fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Alright, metalheads, time to listen. That's right. Definite Metal Stomp, Awesome Brews, Pizza Next Door, check. Metal shows, double check. That's right, Mag Bar at 1398 South 2nd Street in Louisville, Kentucky. Friends of the Metal Forge for years. Get in there, get some drinks, get some pizza, see some bands, metal every day.
In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon